Hey. Mm, Not the first sip of coffee today, but I wanted to play with you as you start your day and say that I have shared quite a lot on the Peaceful Inner Warriors United Assembly Telegram group this morning because I woke up after 5 o'clock, just after, and then posted it at 5:05 because I like to share things during master numbers or repeating numbers for the pattern I like to catch with the posts that might latch onto your consciousness, such as what inspired the morning's posts from last night, where the CSA, Community Support Alliance, group had our Christmas party. And I was grateful to be in conversation with many fabulous souls. And one particular conversation with a man named Victor, befittingly enough, I had shared about one of the last videos that I posted around the chess game reference that I played while I was locked up in the mental health system, which is the modern day witch hunt legalized and normalized from my experience and the eyes that I saw, where the lies were used to draw us into trauma-infused environments where professionals were able to diagnose, so they couldn't me because I wasn't dropping a knee, to have my power placed in the hands of an authority outside of me. But Victor and I were having this conversation about the fact that the three characters I asked in the last video were the pawn, the sideways diagonal player of the knight. No, it was the bishop, which is the sideways character. The horse is who I seem to struggle with because I confuse the horse, which in French is cavalier, and then in English is referred to as the not bishop, but the knight. Oh, of course I have to fight myself because in the sacred sojourn of the soul, the dark night with the K of the ego precedes the dark light fight of the soul. Indeed, where during the dark night of the soul, we will fight for the statuses that will fail us because the king we thought we needed to be was not the most powerful player at all. For the three characters I could not see when I was in the Matrix were the queen, who is always the favorite player, and then also the rook, who's the castle, and could have took me to higher places than the three I chose, except for no one knows why the bishop, the diagonal one, who can only go sideways, for it is no fun to have to bring in the holy see we cannot see as the not see plan, where the mental health system, in fact, has been part of the pact that hacked our nervous system to have Vegas be the city of sin, because that is the beast within us as the vagus nerve that we must learn to self-regulate, which Dr. Bieber personally guaranteed me I would fail to do. And when I did, he offered good advice, adding vice indeed to my situation, which was not nice, yet it was true that I needed to keep in mind if I had too much sleep, I would get depressed, or too little sleep, I could get manic. And I have learned because of his promise, his personal guarantee that I would fail to self-regulate and need to drop a knee to be diagnosed by some doctor that went to school to be indoctrinated with indoctrination. Yeah, it pissed me off. But I didn't show it because I saw how our emotions are weaponized against us, just as the children are within this matrix, where Ma tricks because she's listening to dogma of the grandma with an E for the different groups that actually have created a monarch trauma system. Carolyn Miss referred to it as the dungeon program within Entering the Castle, a book I referenced in one of the multiple messages that I shared in the Peaceful Inner Warriors United Telegram group, that I hope you will go there. And keep in mind, we keep the con video game out, because if it's drama outside of us, it will keep us dysregulated, which is why the city of sin, Vegas, can win or lose a life overnight or day, whichever time you wish to play and fight. The house that always wins because it has the upper hand, because the liege lord can call on villains to become villains in our lives if we are willing to put our cards on the table and not see the cards that have been planted up the sleeves of those wearing suits pretending to be doctors and lawyers and professionals who are the marksmen, where X marks the spot for us to start putting our power into the professionals and the authorities, when author is in the word authority, because we need to learn how to self-regulate the vagus nerve, which is connected to the nervous system that makes us feel nervous when trauma triggers us to feel all of that which we didn't know how to deal with before, nor how to heal, which can only be done in the now. So time is used as the ledger to draw us out of our own court where we are most powerful, to purport that some court of a corporate nature can orate its corporate agendas and place those mandates onto us, who then have a man chose for us, because no longer do we get to choose the man I date when someone orates what I can and cannot do, even though it is a man wearing a suit that would try to do so as the prime minister, for instance, which is a role, an archetype that anyone can put on using a suit, which is the title, status, or personage that changes the man who takes on the title and the clan that follows along as tribal creatures who want to belong and don't mind going along so long as it doesn't cost us too much. Though we forgot that our souls are on the line when we do not find solutions that are soulfully based. And when we place our power outside of us, that is when then we trust those who are working on behalf of a corporation orating toxic and traumatic orations to reduce us to smaller and smaller forms that we must conform our substance to fit into, you see. These boxes of words are the syntax of applied meaning to the box that we use as a word. And then that syntax taxes us, which is another story, that our trust becomes capitalized by lies that try to deny the fact that anything of a counterfeit nature has a fiat in it, spelt in a different way, because they would say that we must do what the corpse orates, when govern means to control, and meant is of the mind. So to have our mind controlled by something we'll find is part of the monarch dungeon program of trauma-induced slave programming. We find it's not in our best interest to draw the line to. So that's where I will leave it today and say, leave a comment, give it a like, and share this with someone who would benefit from hearing the fun that's to come.